Or for this haircut, what we're gonna be doing is a razor shag. First of all, when we're cutting with a razor, we're cutting three-dimensionally. We're cutting with, it's not like it's just a scissor there or a clipper or whatever. When we're using a razor, are we introducing texture or are we taking out? So it's like, are we kind of cut a little bit more blunt? Obviously, the more we open it up, the more softness we can do, the more we can kind of start to diffuse a line. These are things that you need to like start thinking about as you're picking this tool up. In my opinion, when used properly, this is the best tool that you can cut with. Because it's like, I'm talking like a straight razor with no guard. It teaches you how, like what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. When we're working with this one, there's a few different ways to do it, but like we'll open it up, all the way up, V for victory, slide it all in. When you're using this, you will always keep your finger locked here. If you don't, the blade gets loose and you'll start just pinging yourself. You're always cutting on the outsides of your hand. You'll see on here, there's little arrows on there. You'll put it in. Now, don't use your finger to push it all the way in. This is usually where people hurt themselves. Just kind of sit here, tap it in. Like when I'm also cutting with the razor, I like using wide teeth first, like anything, but like these are a little extra wide because I can get through a lot more hair faster. Or when I'm cutting, I'm always cutting with like high tension on here. Now, if I'm gonna get a little bit heavier, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take my fingers and slide them down the blade a little bit more so I can just kind of be a little bit stronger hand on it. Cool. Straight down. I'm gonna pull this straight out. Use my guide. This is pretty much gonna be just the center point of everything, obviously, but everything when it comes to shags is worked around your fringe area. So I'm gonna take this, pull it straight out. I'm gonna just angle my fingers pretty much at like a 45 degree, because what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just take my fingers and put it to a 45 degree angle. The length in the middle stays the same, but now I'm starting to get a little bit more length towards the corner. I'm never really too concerned about what my right hand is doing. It is all about my left hand. Like I said, this is gonna trace what this is doing, but like if I'm going 45 degrees over here, straight out, this better be 45 degrees out and straight out. It starts horizontal in my very first section, but then I'm gonna go down into like a 45 degree. As my section just in like the very fringe area, I will just kind of take probably like a little over half-inch sections, just subsections, and just kind of go straight back. Once I'm done with that, then I will be going diagonal back sections all the way towards the back. So now around the hairline, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut this part pretty short. Just taking slight diagonal back sections, and as I work my way back, I'll probably get a little bit more of a diagonal, because I'm not gonna just I don't want it to be just the same, because I'm gonna slowly start to kind of just pivot around a little bit more in each section. So it's gonna be a little narrower up here and a little bit wider down towards the bottom. Now if I want to maintain a little bit more length, which I will, I'm going to start to elevate it up. And where I'm starting that down here is pretty much like right where the head starts rounding down. And you'll also kind of see my fingers stay parallel pretty much with the head. As I'm starting to kind of work to the round, my fingers are here. By the time I get to the side, my fingers are straight out. When you're also doing shags, whatever they're called, the wolf cuts, there's a few areas that you want to like take out a lot of the bulk. It's right in the temple. Like that is a spot. If it's really, really wide here, it's like, yes, you can have like a cool bang and you can kind of stretch it out. But like if it's really, really round here, it just doesn't look as cool. Always comb from the base. Nice and straight, come directly from the base. So this is her length right here, right? So I'm pretty much cutting right to it. So what I'm looking for right now is just this overall shape, right? Like that's how, it's an easy way for me to kind of just look at the balance, especially if you're seeing curly hair. It's an easy way to look at it. But it's like, okay, I'm like, pull it down. So you can use this as your guide and kind of cut that straight across. I'm not going to go that heavy with the layering. I want to get a little bit more off in the crown here. Just kind of go, so when you're going underneath, you're going to use your arm or your elbow to kind of hinge, okay? Now the other side. This side can get a little trickier, so be very careful when you're doing it, because what you're going to do is you're going to come from underneath and up like this. And if you're not catching it very good, and all of a sudden then you do catch it, you're going to go right into yourself. So use a little surf tonic. So I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to use the grease on her hair to finish. Close your eyes for me. All right.
How do you just do the splits trying to catch it too?
This is a great way to kind of just take it and just twist it all together, right? So we'll kind of get this in. You kind of get it in there, and then you can kind of shake it out a little bit, up. And that's that.